Hi there, Alec from VacuumSpot here. Going to show you a problem that can happen with the S5980 and 5981 from Miele. This particular machine isn't suffering the problem, so I can't show you what happens, but basically if your machine is humming along just nicely and when you're moving the handle the machine will cut out, but you can still see your light here and you just hit the button, turn the machine back on, what we're experiencing may be fixed by cleaning up the slip rings in your handle. Of course, it could actually be a fault with the circuit board in here and you just need a whole new hose. But try this first because it's free, it's not too hard, and it'll fix the problem. Awesome. Okay, so machine out of the power point. We don't want to electrocute ourselves, and let's have a look at this. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiny little Torx screws to come out. Okay, I tried looking for the number before. I think this is a number 8 Torx driver, but to be honest I'm not 100% sure. But it's small. Okay, so these come out. Start with a nice clean bench, especially when you're removing screws this tiny. And you're going to need a little flat blade screwdriver as well. Okay, second last screw. This machine has just come in for a service because it wasn't running that great. I'm going to clean up the slip rings anyway because it's a pretty common problem with this particular style and series. Okay, so here I haven't found a decent way to get this apart without marking it at all yet, but basically what we're going to do is just separate the hose, the handle, from this click ring here. I'm going to run into someone someday who tells me, oh yeah, just do this, and that will have that problem fixed in terms of getting this off. But basically at this point I just sort of worry it a little bit and it will come away eventually. There we go. Okay, so that's off, and now this part of the handle comes forward and we can see our circuit board running on our slip rings. So to do this, we take off your little circuit board. Okay, now on some models it's got a different spring structure, so the springs are actually sort of out this way instead of folded back on. My understanding is that this design is a little bit better, and you've got to be super careful not to bend these little tiny copper springs, because that's what causes the problem, in addition to being able to collect quite an amount of crap on these things. So what's happening is that all the dust and material is building up on these little knobs, and that is affecting the contact of power onto these rings here. And so when there's no power, the machine thinks, oh my gosh, something's wrong, cuts out. So just going to give this a little clean, get rid of the obvious crap. Now this just goes back in place, and that really is all it is. That simple procedure can save you $270 odd in replacement hose cost. So now the tricky part. This is quite a delicate process, because if this isn't on right, you'll actually create the problem. Okay, so if you don't have your rings in line with your copper springs, you'll end up creating the problem. So basically what I'm saying is, if you don't already have the problem, don't just jump in and try and fix it. I'm doing this because I do this a lot, although I wouldn't normally do it with the video here. So okay, here we go. So we're going to tension this up a little bit. Once we get to a certain point, I'm going to just make sure that I've got this held in place and this is seated, because you do have a bit of play, like see how this can move a little bit. So at this point I'm going to try and reach up and hold that down so that as I screw it in place we're getting nice tension. Okay, and we're looking from one side here, comparing on this side here, making sure that we've got good contact right across. So now that I've got that where I'm happy, last little tighten, seat our wires in the little carriers. You'll notice there's little carriers here, and then this cover basically goes in like so. Okay. Alright, now look for your screw hole here, and that'll click into place, and we reverse the process. We just screws in, okay, next one. Now once you've got these in, just have a feel, make sure that feels smooth. You will feel, if you don't have your copper springs lined up with your slip rings, you will feel some resistance to the movement. At that point, instead of forcing it, open it back up and realign them. Okay. So at this point we should be able to turn this on and this shouldn't have any issues, especially since it started with none. So that's great. It started being fine, it's finished being fine. So that is another great quick tip from Alec at VacuumSpot. If this is helpful, hey, please hit subscribe or like the video. Thanks for watching.